Hi, it's John from Android Addict, and this is a quick look and review of all the available Samsung cases for the Galaxy Z Fold 3. So you can see all the official cases laid out here, and what we're going to do is go through them in order of price. So we'll start with the cheapest and go up to the most expensive case, and we'll just run through how they look on the phone and the feel, and then hopefully you can work out which case is the right one for you. I will mention the recommended retail price of all of these cases, but they are available cheap on Amazon. I have put some links down in the description if you want to pick any of these up. And I'll just mention quickly that all of these do support wireless and reverse wireless charging, so I won't bother to test those as we know that is officially supported. So without any further ado, let's get on with the review, and we'll start off with the silicone cover. Right, so this is the silicone cover. It retails at £34 and it's available in 3 colours. That's black as we have here. There is also a green version and a white version. So let's open it up and see what we have. Okay, so this is the case out of the box. And we do have a couple of stickers here, which I'll just take off. And we do also have a blue sort of tape here, which we're going to peel off. And that just reveals this sort of rubber texture here, which just helps add to the grip of the case. Okay, so the case itself feels nice and smooth. Obviously this is silicone, so that's what you would expect. We got the Samsung logo there, just printed on the bottom. Inside of the case is a sort of hardish plastic. Now this does bend very slightly, but not very much. It's very thin. And the other section of the case does have a bit of silicone around the edge here, but it does feel very plasticky. I would say this is probably quite fragile, so I'm not going to bend that around too much. So let's pop it on the phone and see what it looks like. Okay, so this is it on the phone itself. We can see here all of the display is still visible quite easily. It does feel very nice. It's lightweight as well, so that's quite good. But yeah, this nice sort of soft silicone feel feels good in the hand, and it feels grippy enough. I mean, obviously it won't stick to your hand as a TPU case would, but it does feel like you get a good grip around the edges at least. So let's just have a look at the cutouts here so we can see the bottom speaker, USB and mic are all lined up nicely. And the top mics and ambient mic are also lined up nicely as well, along with the top speaker. So there's no protection here for the main folding section itself. Let's check the cutouts here for the buttons, and you can see it's a full cutout, so the volume button is not protected whatsoever. We won't expect to see any covers over the power button, obviously, because that is our fingerprint reader as well. Can also see the top cutout here for the earpiece for when you're using it as a sort of standard closed phone. And we'll just check to see if the camera bump is protected at all. I'd say it is by the very smallest of margins, as you can see there, only just protecting it, but it is protecting it by a small amount, so it would be okay to put down flat on the table without too much of a worry. It's not as much protection as I would actually like for this phone, but it does offer a small amount at least. Now the front screen is protected by a good couple of mils, as you can see, all the way around, so you can actually now put your phone face down without any worries about it actually picking up any scratches off the table. So we'll just try, and you can see that the phone will be protected by a good margin there. Now there's no wobble at all with this when it's closed. We're just going to open up and have a check as well. So there's a small wobble here which still exists. Now that is just down to the fact that we have, as you can see here, a slightly higher margin of case in the middle and on the right hand side compared to this left hand side here. So that is introducing a slight bit of wobble here when the phone is down flat on the table. It's not an amount of wobble that I'd actually worry about particularly, but it is there just about with the silicone case on. So this is it open from the back. This is how it looks. Again, I quite like this because it is very, unintrusive. It's very basic and simple, yet effective. And it doesn't add really much bulk to the phone itself. So that's quite a nice little case there to start off at the lower end. It is starting to pick up a bit of dust, as we can see here. I don't know if that's been picked up on the camera, but that is just going to happen with silicone, I'm afraid. It does pick up fluff and dust quite easily. So I guess if you have this in your pocket, it could actually get more dust on than you'd want. Now, obviously, if the phone was to drop down on the fold itself, it would not be protected. There's no protection on the sides. If it dropped anywhere else, however, it would be protected with no problems at all. So yeah, this is quite a nice case. I quite like this. I think that would suit me quite well. But let's move on to the next case and see how that fares. So as we move on to the next case, the Aramid cover here, we're jumping up to £59. Now this Aramid material is very durable and tough, and it's also very thin. So it'd be interesting to see what this is like on here. When I tried the Aramid on the flip, there was not very much protection on the screen itself. So I'm guessing it might be a similar thing here, but we'll find out shortly. This is basically the thinnest case you're probably going to get for your fold, out of the official bunch anyway. Okay, we also have a grippy section here to reveal. And yeah, it just feels sort of tacky, not sticky, but sort of rubberized for that added grip. So yeah, it's very simple, very thin, as you can see here. Extremely thin, but hard case. So let's pop it on and see what it's like. Just clips into place like that. And this is what your phone would look like in the case. So it's quite a nice effect here, this sort of carbon fibre style effect. And like I said, it's a hard case. No protection for the actual folding section itself. But the rest of the phone looks very nice and stylish. That's it with the screen open. Again, not really taking up much of the screen real estate whatsoever. And this is it from the back. So yeah, very smart, stylish case. Now £59 is quite a lot of money, so let's just have a look and just double check all the cutouts are okay. They look fine. Same with the top, all looking good. Now again, we don't have any protection for our volume keys here. Now screen protection for the front screen. It does actually offer a few millimeters of protection, as you can see. All the way around, there's protection for the cover screen. Now for the camera, they have actually raised up the cover slightly. So it is, again, by a very, very small margin, protecting the camera lenses here. That's probably a better view there. You can see it's slightly raised up there, just to protect those three lenses. Now on the inside, it offers no protection at all to the front screen. As you can see, this is completely flat and there's no protection there at all for your inside display. So similar to the flip, no inside screen protection, but when closed, enough protection that you're not going to worry too much about placing your phone down on a surface. We can see there's plenty of room here for the phone to go down without the screen touching the table here. The question is, does it wobble? And the answer is yes, it does. So in the corner, because of that little bump for the camera bump itself, it does wobble when closed. And again, just in this bottom right corner, it is wobbling obviously when it's pressed down. Now, again, typing you'd probably be okay on, but if you do apply any sort of larger pressure there, you will notice that bump does exist. So yes, Aramid cover, nice, very thin, one of the thinnest you're going to get, I think, for this phone. Nice sort of carbon fibre effect, protected reasonably well when closed, except obviously for the fold itself, but no protection at all for the inside screen. Okay, next up we're moving on to the leather cover here. Now this comes in at £69 and it is available in 3 colours, which is black, green and camel. So I've gone for the camel colour here, as you can see, and it's quite expensive, so hopefully we're getting some high quality leather here. It passes the sniff test. That does certainly smell like leather, as you can see, and probably here it's got a nice sound to it. It is nice and smooth. We've got the Samsung logo embossed in the back there. And on the inside, we do have this lovely velvety effect here. It feels very nice and smooth. And this is, again, in a very thin case here. So similar to the Aramid one, it's a hard sort of shell, just covered in leather. We do have another section here to add some grip to our phone. And this is slightly flexible, so I'm not going to bend that too much. So let's pop it on and see what it's like on the phone. Fits on very nicely and very easily. Okay, so this is it on the phone, and this is how it now looks with the leather cover on. As you can see, nice and stylish here. And I think the camel and black actually go quite well together. Wasn't 100% sure, to be honest, whether to go for the black or the green version instead of the camel colour, but I think this actually does look quite nice. So the cutouts, they all look absolutely fine. We still don't have any protection for our volume key here. It's just completely opened up. But all the other cutouts are fine as well. Again, no protection for the fold itself. So let's just check the screen protection here, see how it's looking. Very minimal screen protection, I'd say, but it is there. It's a lot thicker on this side of the case, as you can see, compared to the right hand side, where it's only just being protected there by a mil or two. We also have the cutout here for the earpiece. Okay, so the inside display, let's take a look. Now it looks pretty flush to the screen to me. So we have a look here. It's not really offering any inside screen protection, I'd say. If we get a closer look, you can see it's just flush to the actual screen itself, as you can see. Which is a bit of a shame, really. You'd have thought maybe a bit of a lip, or maybe even a tiny little notch on each corner would have helped. But yeah, this doesn't offer any inside screen protection. This is how it looks from the back with it open. Again, I quite like it. It's quite a nice style to it. And I'm quite pleased with the colour. Just check the cameras. And again, the minimal amount of protection there, but they are just about protected by this case. So you can put this down on the table without worrying too much. Front screen is okay, like I said, so we can pop this down without worrying too much about the front screen, but we certainly can't do that with it open up like this. I mean, I'm not sure whether you ever would put your phone down like this, but it is worth knowing that there's no sort of, protruding areas of this case to protect it much. So, yeah, that is the leather cover. Quite nice, but just a few downfalls, I'd say, for this compared to the Aramid. So let's move on to the next case and see how that looks. Right, so next up is the flip cover with pen, which is this case here. Now, I did get this free with my pre-order, but this does retail at £69 and it only comes in black. So this is the one we have here. Right, so this is the case out of the box. As you can see, it's a flip case with a antimicrobial coating, so that's good for keeping away germs, hopefully. Don't know whether it stops COVID, but it'd be nice to think that it did. As you can see on the back, we have the Samsung logo printed, and on the very back of the case, on the sort of fold itself, we have the S Pen. So this is the fold edition pen, and it does come with some replaceable nibs, which are in the pack here. We get 3 nibs and the extractor tool. So when you're ready to replace your nib, you just simply pull it out with this and pop in a new one. Now this S Pen holder is also removable. It simply pops up, so you push from the bottom and this just slides off. So you can have it as a standard flip case if you want, if you don't want to take the pen with you. And to pop it back on, we simply slide it back down. As you can see here, this ridge just goes straight down in there. And that just clips back into place. Inside material, there's a nice soft cover here. That's protecting your cover display. And on the back, we also have this nice soft, not quite velvety effect, but soft effect there. Pop our phone in and have a look. Just clipped in nicely. And here is your phone in the flip cover with pen. So this does add a bit of bulk to the side, as you can see. Again, with that taken off, it's your more standard style of case here, or flip cover case. So if you do want to protect the front of your screen as much as possible, aside from the fact this doesn't actually stay closed, it does flop open with a slight bit of motion there. So just bear that in mind. Although it will protect it generally when it's in your pocket, if you do drop it and this flops open, then you have no protection whatsoever for your front cover screen. So the cutouts for the phone are quite obvious here. We do have the volume and power cutout. We have no protection at all for the front side of the phone. All the way around here, there's no protection. So with the case open, we get the following. So we have this little bit here sort of sticking out from the side. If we look from the back, this is how it looks. It's quite a nice sort of style, but this issue with it sort of sticking out here is a bit odd. Now you can, as you can see, you can push this in and hold it like this just to sort of hide that flap, but it is a bit slightly awkward, I'd say. Personally, I wouldn't want to use this, and I have been using this case for the last few days, and it does get a bit awkward, I'd say personally. You don't know whether to actually keep the pen in or not, because obviously when you have the pen in and you want to just put your phone down for a moment, you're going to put it down, but then it's going to sort of, you know, flap around like this. It's not the most elegant of cases, I'd say. It's a bit, just a bit fiddly, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. Now with the screen open and the S Pen off, that does allow us to go flat on the table, and there's no wobble or anything at all. So that's something at least. We do have that option if we so want it. Again, cameras are just about protected by the shortest of margins. So we do have the knowledge that we can pop it down on the table and not worry too much about what's happening underneath. Now, as I said, I've been using this case personally for a couple of days now, and I found it to be more frustrating than it is, you know, fun to use. Don't get me wrong, the S Pen is great fun, and I do like using the pen itself. But when I've got a phone like this with a cover that is always on, it kind of just makes me not want to use the phone, because it's more of a hassle to either hold it like this or wrap this around here and try and type, you know, on your front screen, or do anything really, because this S Pen is getting in the way. Now, obviously we can remove this, which is nice, but even still, with that removed, you've still got to do this, and you've got this now sticking out over here. So it's just, I don't know, it's almost the best case, but it's also almost the worst case at the same time. So it's just those things to sort of bear in mind, I guess, when thinking about this case. Now, if you are a big pen user, then it's a kind of a no-brainer, because you've always got your pen with you. But I do wish they would just make a case without this cover, but with the pen support. I think they did one for the previous Note, actually, just a back cover. They could even include, you know, a silicone case like we saw a moment ago, but with the S Pen on the side, and that would be, you know, perfectly acceptable in my opinion. But yeah, when closed, it is obviously protected pretty well. We've even got the fold protected itself. In terms of usability though, for me personally, I don't really like it that much. It's just more of a hassle to actually do stuff with it. Like I say, with this sort of flappy bit going all over the place, you don't really know where to put it to be comfortable. Okay, last but not least, we have the most expensive of the bunch, which is the leather flip cover. This comes in at £79, and it's made with apparently have high quality, luxurious leather. So let's try it out and we'll be the judge. Okay, so here we are. This is the leather flip cover. So similar to the leather cover, this comes in black, green or camel colour. And again, I've gone for the camel because that just looks a bit more leathery to me. So we've got the little strap here at the back, which is meant to help you hold the phone better. It's got a sort of rose gold button pinning that in there. And this does also act as a stand, as we'll see shortly. On the inside, it's a very nice velvety effect here, all the way over. Nice feel to it, nice and soft. As you can see, it's a very thin case, as we have seen with the other cases for the Fold. So let's pop our Fold in and see what it's like. Goes in very nicely there, and it closes up nicely too. And this is it. We see our Fold is actually nicely protected. We don't have any protection for the front display around the sides, but the back, or the right hand part of the display, is protected. All the cutouts look to be okay. And we do have no protection at all for any of the buttons on the side. So the cameras are just about protected, as you can see here. So you're okay to put this flat down on a table without any issues. Obviously from the front you're protected. If the flap is left open, obviously the front of the screen has no protection around it at all. Interestingly though, we do have a little magnet in the side of the case here, so we should hopefully be able to shake our phone like this and the front cover does not open. So that's nice. I do wish they'd put this in the S Pen case as well, because that would have been quite nice, just to stop it from flapping around the place. But yeah, this is it in the case. It does look quite nice. It feels nice in the hand. It's obviously not very grippy, being leather, but we do have this little strap here, so we can, you know, put a couple of fingers around it, or a finger in here, maybe a couple, and then once we're using our phone, we can, you know, have a nice grip on it without worrying too much about it falling. Similar to the flip cover with pen, we do get this little bit sticking out the side. Now you are able to hide that if you sort of press back like this when you're holding the phone, but it is a bit, it is slightly annoying, and that could actually end up damaging the leather over time if you're constantly bending it backwards and forwards like this. So I guess that's something to bear in mind there. So from the back of the phone, it does look very nice, as you can see, nice and stylish. And as I say, this leather does feel very nice. It is luxurious, so according to the description at least, so you'd expect it to. So the screen protection itself, obviously we are not protected on one half of the phone, but we are protected very slightly on the right half of the phone, as you can see, just about offering some protection there. But I wouldn't really be happy putting my phone face down at all with this. Putting it down on the table flat, there is a slight bit of wobble here. That's due to this strap at the back here, which also acts as a stand. So let's just move that out of the way and see if that makes any difference. Not really, it probably makes it worse if anything. So let's try out this stand feature or function of the case. So I'm just going to put it around like this. I'm going to clip that into there. And we can see that it works pretty well. I must say it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So now we could sit and watch our favourite YouTube videos or whatever we want to watch without having to worry about another separate stand for the case. So that is quite a nice little function there. Not bad at all. Obviously you don't have much choice in angles, so you are at just one angle basically. But I think that's more than fine. So that was the leather flip cover. Quite expensive, £79, but it is a sort of luxurious look and feel. You do get this added bonus of the stand as well, which is quite cool. Obviously also you can stick your fingers in here and hold it and grip your phone a bit better. So it's always worth noting these sort of things. Don't forget we also have the magnet in the front for keeping that flap closed up. Right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do click on the like button and be sure to subscribe. What I'm going to do now is just run through each case quickly as a sort of recap so we can go over the pros and cons of each one. Let me know down below in the comments which one of these you're going to pick up for your Fold 3. So we started with the silicone cover at £34, available in 3 colours, black, green and white. This is quite a nice feeling case and it does offer protection for the screen and all around the phone except for the fold itself. So like I said, a nice feel to the phone, doesn't add much bulk, and it does protect the camera lens as well. Next up we had the Aramid cover, which comes at £59. Now it's a lot more expensive, but this is a very hard and durable material which is meant to be very tough and sturdy. So again, no fold protection here, but it's the thinnest or one of the thinnest cases you can get. And we do have this slight bump here for the camera protection, but sadly not really any protection for the inside screen. So the outside screen was protected just about, but inside screen not so much. So next up was the leather cover, £69, and this comes in 3 colours as well, black, green and camel. And this was quite a nice case, very thin, very light, and obviously leather, which is quite durable. Sadly no screen protection on the inside and just minimal protection for the front screen, but it was slightly protected along with the cameras as well. So not too bad. If you want a leather cover, then this is probably one of the best ones to go for. Next up, we had the flip cover with pen, retailing at £69. So this one is a nice one because it comes with the S Pen itself. The pen holder is removable, which is a nice feature. So the case itself is a tiny bit bulky, and you can take the S Pen holder off itself, which is good. But overall, it's a bit too fiddly, in my opinion, to use as on a day-to-day basis. No magnet on the front flip here, so the front sort of flap will open up on its own, which means it's slightly less protective for your front screen. The camera cutout does protect your camera lens just about, but it is by a very minimal amount. Don't forget also, if you have this in with the S Pen, it does wobble slightly on a desk if you have it flat down. That can obviously act as a bit of a stand or a bit of a surface for you to write on with the pen, but overall, not the best case out of the bunch. Last but not least was the leather flip cover. Again, 3 colours for this one, black, green and camel. Now this, I think overall, is probably the best of the leather cases, if you want the best protection that is, because you've got this front cover which does have a magnet built into it, so it is going to keep that front screen safe. Other than that though, obviously the right hand side of the screen is protected. We have the fold which is protected, as we did with the S Pen case also, but the problem is that the left hand half of the screen is not protected when this is open. Good part though, having a magnet means it does stay closed, so it's very unlikely to open up and damage your screen if you dropped your phone and it went down front first. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do click on that like button and subscribe for more videos in the future. Like I said, I've put Amazon affiliate links down below in the description if you want to pick any of these up. Let me know which one of these is your favourite. I think overall for me, I'm going to stick with the silicone cover as that does offer the sort of best overall protection. Sadly, yes, the fold itself isn't protected, but when compared to the others and the prices of the others, I think this offers probably the best value for money. After that, I would probably head towards the leather flip cover if I did want to protect that front screen all the time, because this is definitely the best out of the two with the front screen covers. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are down below. And don't forget to check out my other Fold 3 videos. I've put links down below in the description if you want to check out some benchmarks and some other tests that I've done with it. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified when I next upload a video. And if you do want to become a member of the channel, you can click on the join button and that really helps out. And again, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.